We live. We should be live now, my brother Blue Pillar. Let me just
Peace, love, and light. Indeed.
get a couple of things. We popped up on the people today, Blue, so it's a surprise.
Indeed.
Surprise
Let
is
'em-
good though.
Stacey Abrams, and
Oh
I'm
shit! Hold up,
personally
let me get rid of
asking you to
this.
sign the petition to demand vote by
Stacey
mail.
Abrams,
Stacey
her name
Abrams.
is. Yeah, what's going on? Let me see if make sure people could hear us and they in the chat. What's going on in the chat, man? We late night, Friday night edition. Me and Blue Pill. I've been going lately, y'all. I've been busy with some important stuff with the brother Blue Pill. We've been engaging in some important stuff. All right, peace, Ron Singh. All right, peace to the family filling in the chat room. I'm gonna let y'all continue to fill in the chat room. All right, and what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna let Blue Pill do what he got to do. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into some ads real quick. Some great black businesses that we all should be supporting in one way or another, family. And we'll be right back. All right. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to King Simon. If you want to know something about your life, your greater self, your purpose, your meaning of life, your purpose for working, your purpose in relationships, this is the brother to call. He just gave me an amazing reading for my birthday, which just passed, which set me up for the next 2-3 years of my life. So I want to thank the brother personally for that. But call him, get your reading. It's very important, and I promise you it'll change your life. Shout out to mixerhealth.com. They got some amazing products, family, when it comes to health. They got the affordable, wild crafted St. Lucia sea moss on deck. They got products for you, your immune system, and they also have vaginal health tea for women, which is great. I think we should have products geared specifically toward men and geared specifically toward women. So they got great products, and they don't have all the unnecessary additives. It's pure and clean. They got the herbs that help your hair grow and a lot of other stuff. So make sure you holler at the folks at mixerhealth.com. Magic Money. This is working wonders on people's lives. King Simon just told me it's absolutely amazing. He thanked me. Vicky Dillard bought 3 copies for her and a couple of friends. I mean, I love the reception I'm getting from this ebook. It's out of print. It's a hard to find out of print ebook, and I have it available. It's using spiritual techniques to acquire what we call physical money or fiat money, which is totally connected to the spirit realm, totally connected to energy, and we just got to understand the dynamics behind it. But when you're taught things like money is the root of all evil, it's kind of hard to acquire it when you had taught that at the age of 7 and it's part of your subconscious programming at the age of 33. First, you got to get rid of that, but I could go on and on, but I won't. You go to Cash App, $Black Magic 363. The fee is $10, and make sure you leave your email. Otherwise, I will have nowhere to send it to. All right, family? Shout out to Riverside Tai Chi. He has the joint balance formula. If you got problems with your joints, go to riversideTaiChi.com/joint balance formula. All right. Copper Child Mike L got the crowns. If you are interested in high frequency clothing, this is the brother to hit up. You've seen everybody wear these hats, from Blue Pill to Red Pill to Umar Johnson to Brother Polite to Sarnetta. I mean, everybody got one of these crowns. So make sure you holler at him. He got a number and he got a website on the screen to get some high frequency clothing. Blackprivilege.com. These are the folks, the brother and sister. It's a couple, beautiful couple. They they did the video for my song I Am. I have a music mantra. I call it a music mantra. And I got an announcement for that I'm gonna make later in the week, but I got a music mantra. It's called I Am. And they actually did the video, which was off the hook. I appreciate everybody. The video's at like 14,000 views. Amazing video. I advise everybody to listen to it and reprogram your subconscious mind. But we got video, they got video editing, logo creation, website creation, sewing creations, promotional videos, brand development, video introduction, merchandise production. I mean, they got it all. Go to blackprivilege.org. Their website is on the screen and it's also in the description bar. And with that being said, we're going to stop it right there. And we're going to talk to the family. I think my brother Blue Pill went to take care of some business real quick. What's up with the people in the family? Yeah, I've been going, man. Me and Blue been doing this Kundalini thing, man. It's been great. Yo, it's been real great, man. I've been having a ball. I've been having a blast, but it's been keeping me busy. real quick to anybody who's in here tonight that was part of the Kundalini retreat meditation group. I'm going to send day 7 after the show. So don't think I'm slipping. I'm going to send it after the show. I just had to take care of a couple of other things I've been neglecting due to the Kundalini retreat. And I'm going to send that off. We are the Crowns Rich. Go to the description bar. The Crowns is the information is in the description bar. Just go to the description bar. All right. Yeah, that's good. Okay, melanated nectar was a part of it. Okay. Yeah, you know what, real quick, before we, I'll wait till later because I don't have that available right now. Blue Pill, what's good? Welcome, my brother. You got on the all white. Welcome, my brother.
Peace, love, and light. Peace to yourself, peace to your audience, peace to everyone in the sound of our voice out there. Greetings.
Indeed. What I really love, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. Black news update, and I tricked y'all. Just because it say black news, don't mean it's pop culture news. Remember, anything that happens in the cosmos is black news. So
Facts.
Whatever the sun is doing out there, whatever Mars is doing, Pluto's doing, whatever Betelgeuse is doing, that's black news update. So don't think just because it says black news update that it necessarily pertains to politics or Condoleezza, or no, I was about to say Condoleezza Rice. What's the name? Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris
or
and her Timberlands, right?
Anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Black news is cosmic. You know what I'm saying? So just like Black history is cosmic, it don't start when we was a king. We downgraded to a king. So yeah, just keep that in mind, family. But what I want to say to introduce the brother Blue Pill. First of all, the brother Blue Pill, man, it was an amazing journey with you with this Kundalini retreat. I feel like a new person. I feel revitalized. I feel 10 years younger. I feel the best I felt in a long, I don't want to say ever felt, but the best I felt in a long time after this Kundalini retreat, my brother. And you took it serious. You had your heart in it. And I think that's what's extremely important. That's what resonated with the people, my brother. You took this extremely serious, and it just wasn't an intellectual journey for you. It was an emotional journey. It was a spiritual journey. It was an occult journey. And brother, you did an absolutely magnificent job. We had a little technical difficulties with the first chakra, the root chakra. And I guess that's because we're not rooted like we should be. So that was a reflection of as above, so below, or whatever. But besides that, you got it.
I recall the root chakra meditation was one of the most successful ones.
Which one was it then? Which one was it?
It was the sacral chakra.
The sacral.
Yes, it was day 2.
And
the sacral chakra came on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, Saturday or Saturn is known for constriction, right? That's Saturn's day. Saturn is father time. You know, there has been a misappropriation of what exactly the root chakra represents. So like I said, a lot of people misassociate it with dealing with sexual trauma in the root chakra. They think root is necessarily all sex. Hence the fact that they say somebody has a hyperactive root chakra if they're sexually active, or Miami being the root at the bottom of the quote unquote US, they say, oh, that represents that primal sexual energy. But sex trauma and sexual energy is expressed through the navel chakra, through the sacral, through the second, color orange. And a lot of people have even been focusing in the wrong direction of where to actually put that healing or where to put the focus and attention, right? So we knew that even coming in and explaining specifically what root chakra healing and energy was about, we kind of were going to shift the whole dynamic of people, because the sacral chakra also represents anxiety. You know, that's where a lot of people's trauma is trapped, in that particular chakra. So there was a lot of, being that we were going in as a collective, there was a lot of reluctance, you know, that people had to move into that particular chakra and deal with those traumas. This 7-day Kundalini retreat, it played itself out in real life in the bodies and the minds and you know, the daily activity, even in the news cycle. You know what I mean? Everything was perfectly timed. We designed a 7-day regimen, right? Which is the completion of a strong and not a week, but a whole strong. And because you have to be consistent to carry something for 7 days, you know, standing on your feet in a particular position and holding a stance for 1 day, that's tasking and grueling enough. There's very few people that could say, even in martial arts, oh, I've stood in horse stance for a day straight. You're going to have iron clad foundation legs, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
You could, so let alone 7 days, you are carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, because at your peak, at your mountain peak, at your 7th day, you're coming into the fullness and the realization of your relationship as creator, co-creator, you know, as that drop of water that is from the ocean, that is of the ocean. You're not having any more doubts. You've gotten past that many stages and many steps and many layers and many depths. So, you know, it was a journey through our own physical bodies, our own beings, all the way up. But the sacral was the hardest to get through because of what it encompassed. And it also represents doubt. So what it also did is it allowed people who had such a explosive experience the first night that still was having quote unquote doubts, like, that felt too good, you know? I don't think I deserve a second night of that. And we did have a technical glitch that was based on a misunderstanding. We forgave ourselves and we asked for the forgiveness of the family, and we double delivered the next day. And we took it to a height on that Sunday on the solar plexus that, you know, we have never experienced in this lifetime. And it kept going up from there, you know, and we went up all of them stairs until we reached the very pinnacle point, which was the crowning, the coronation, you know. And today, as a result, I'm a lighter being. I'm more full of light. You know, I shed 10 or 15 years off of my body. Like, I really feel reborn and renewed, and, you know, what it is that we represent in terms of the vision, you know, the vision that we give ourselves permission to be at peace, and everything that comes with that we want. You know, in the midst of all of this chaos, you have every right to select for yourself the best outcome. And that's what we wanted to provide the people with.
Indeed. You know, we talk a lot about visualization. One thing I want to say to the people is that for those listening, is that one of the beautiful things was that all of y'all got to witness me. I remember when I first told y'all about the workshop, it was immediately after the I Imagination workshop. And I said, yo, I got this great idea. It's explosive. And I said, originally said it was for Billy Carson. I said, yo, I'm getting ready to present. And I told the family, I said, I'm presenting to Billy Carson. I got this dope idea. It's never been done before. Da, da, da. And I was excited telling the people.
Right.
When I came back, I told the people that I decided, my heart told me to do the to give my idea, you know, present it to Blue Pill. And y'all got to see me, it just be a thought in my mind to it manifesting in real time, to it being a success. Right. So many people came and joined. We did it. And now you get to see me talk about it after it's over. So you actually see the process of thought being a thing. When they say, well, how is a thought a thing? Well, thoughts cause biochemical reactions in the brain that releases chemical signals to our body. Right. These chemical signals tell our body how to feel. So once it tells our body how to feel, we generate more thoughts that support how we feel. So this is why it's important to generate, to tap into your inner world, because if you could never think greater than how you feel, you'll be caught in a loop forever. It's called like the thinking feeling loop, where you just keep thinking how you're feeling. So you have to think greater than how you feel. Regardless of how I feel, I set time aside to my visualization to come up with these ideas. Even if I had a day that wasn't so good, I come up with certain ideas. So visualize, you're seeing in real time something from a thought become something huge that affects the world. We have people from all over the world. So yeah, I'm proud of that, Blue Pill. I'm real proud of that. That we did it in real time, brother.
In real time. And this is what it looks like, family, the crystallization of a thought. You see that energy matrix inside of here? Envision that, visualize that as being a thought. And this particular, this tower, this crystal tower, it represents the crystallization of that thought. So we were able to crystallize this particular thought into something that is tangible, something that now represents a vehicle, something that is real to people because they experienced it. They felt it. It's not just about thinking. It's not an intellectual endeavor into convincing someone of something with logic and reason. This is something that was experiential, where people were able to feel the immersive experience of going through healing and releasing and becoming more powerful and courageous and stronger and convinced. And you know, at this particular time, with this extra energy input and output that you have, you know your relationship to the planet. You have synchronized and syncopated your entire grounding process. You know how to screw yourself to the center of the earth. You know how to put yourself in the column of light that goes to the highest of heights, to the center of the earth, to make sure that you're protected at all times. You know how to expand that protection into your home, into your neighborhood, into your city, into your state, into your country, into the globe and beyond. You know how to get big. You know how to get as quantum as an ant. You know how to get as simplified as an atom. You know that there's 90% space that exists between it. So the distance between you and your brother, your mother, your father, or anyone that's even living or not here in a physical form is never that far away. You know the spirit realm is inside of you, behind you, above you, beneath you, within you, right? Look, the ancestors are the blood of your flesh. Spirit realm is the blood on your breath. I got so many amazing revelations and downloads as a process of going through this process, that it's like the only thing that we need to know is that light is the only thing that we need to grow. And you have to get your spine in order so that light can have a chance of crystallizing a thought into crystallize, you know what I'm saying, reality. Like, it's in you, family. You can crystallize light. You are the most magnificent species and specimen in creation in this entire universe. You the shit. You got it all. You've been endowed with every single thing that you need to be great.
Lou, that's a hard thing. I'm gonna tell you, that's a hard thing for people to believe when
I understand that.
make a statement. Because check it out. Say a creature comes here from Pluto, and the motherfucker is 8 feet tall, and he's green and gray, and he got wings. For you to say we got the best technology in the universe, it's hard for a person to believe that. You know what I'm saying? Very hard for a person to believe that, because when we think of aliens, we think of superior beings, or if we see something bigger, whatever's bigger than us, we think of superior beings. So talk about how just because we may be 5'11" as far as our Nebuchadnezzar, our starship is, that doesn't necessarily mean we're contained to that amount of space, Blue Pill.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's the whole process of us going through this journey, right? Going through this particular staircase, where once you get to the top, you see the all. If you understand your relationship to the all, everything else seems small. Like, what are they gonna present something that supersedes the all? No, it all exists within your mind. Even if something comes from somewhere else, I am supreme intelligence. You know what I'm saying? I have the ability to tap into mind of co-creator, and I am experiencing a relay with consciousness, with the highest realms of consciousness. As much as I'm getting to know myself, creator's getting to know itself. We have a symbiotic relationship. As much as I get to know myself, the universe wants itself to be known. So look how much things we are magnetizing to us right now that want to be decoded and uncovered and unveiled. You know what I'm saying? Oh, put this piece together with that piece, and then they start showing you the co-signing of it and headlines and things that start popping up like, yeah, you was on point, right? Because the all is the all. So we are going through the final stages and steps of the process of what they say this whole story is about. You could finally put a period point on it. Would you want to, though, is the question. And what I'm saying is that if we show people in real time the access and the availabilities to the answers that they seek, are they willing to take the leap? Because there's about 250K people that's on this channel alone, and about, 250 of them ventured with us through that portal. And those people, like I said, they can tell the story better for themselves than I can. I can tell you what I experienced. I could tell you what I felt. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you what my visions were. And it was not just inclusive of what I experienced physically for myself, but I was able to see the vastness of many experiences and many people breaking through. You know what I'm saying? I felt all sorts of ascension. I seen all spectrums of light. This is not just something that I just haphazardly have in my possession. It's like, no, this is what I was envisioning. This is the Nebuchadnezzar. You understand? This represents on front side and back side all of the intentions and the souls and the spirits and the light that this galactic ship that we all, through the heart, this journey that we all partook on. No, we broke through, and we continue to go to heights, especially if we take advantage of the energy that's present tonight, because we still under this new moon in Virgo, and we are allowed to create and command and demand of the universe what we intentionally want to see forth. We have to live here. This is our planet, right? You was chosen. Stop asking permission. Give yourself permission to be in charge, right? And see how things start changing. See what your charge, your output starts looking like in this world. See what your carbon footprint looks like. And stop allowing people to tell you about other carbon imprints that have nothing to do with you. What's your carbon imprint? You carbonated beings. Mm-hmm. You feel me? What light signatures are you leaving that could be identified as being etched in time where, they like, what does that crystal say? Because all of these crystals contain galactic information. You feel me? And you are the same way. Your skeletal structure that produces piezoelectricity through stress and pressure. Mm-hmm. You melanated people who have been, quote unquote, unjustly pressurized in society have been made perfect to become the perfectly pitched, attuned specimen necessary, right? To be the antenna, the frequency, the bandwidth, which calls upon the ear of the Most High and demands that it listens. That's who you are, family. We already know that. We broadcast around the galaxy. Don't minimize my streams to this planet, right?
Okay.
This is our planet. I know that we stream through the galaxy.
No, indeed.
We know what time it is already. We ain't got to convince ourselves. We know the power of the communicator and the transmitter and the messenger. We want to give you this game so you too can become a transmitter a communicator, a bandwidth operator. We gave you the visualization to put you at the center point of command center of your vessel, right? Not the person that you're sleeping next to, not the person who you following on Instagram, not the people who you looking at on the screen, your vessel, right? Gave you the keys to command center. Look, this is how you take over your real estate. This is how you live rent free.
Facts. Facts. I want to thank everybody for contributing to it. Dr. Phil Valentine had an absolutely amazing, tell me, amazing presentation.
Look, as a result,
Pink
yes.
had, go ahead, Blue.
Nah, I'm gonna let you finish talking.
Pink had an amazing presentation. Brother Panic had an amazing presentation. And I'm still waiting to get mine from Billy Carson. Also, those who attended, Billy Carson still got a surprise for us, but he had some family things he had to take care of, but he still will deliver video for the people who participated in the 7-day workshop. But shout out to everybody who contribute to this, because it's so important. It's so important. And go ahead, Blue, what you was about to say? Just wanted to thank everybody. Thanks to Kafunya for coming in.
Absolutely, yes.
The music, the music that you provided with the good folks that was a part of that. That was
yes. Maestro, yes.
Maestro, yeah.
Just the Asia, yes.
Just the Asia, yeah. So yeah, but go ahead. What you was about to say, Blue?
I was so impressed by Dr. Valentine's offering that I immediately, contacted the brother, thanked him for everything, because as 2020 is a year that I continuously say is about full circles, my journey began in or about 2001. My interest was piqued by a video that I came across, a VHS from Dr. Valentine. It was X-Men Decoded. I'd always wanted to see somebody decoding movies. KT was not yet necessarily, especially in the business yet of decoding. He was still working at movie theaters and, figuring out things for himself in terms of how he sees the world. But I saw this Valentine video, and then I seen an Ashra Kwesi video, right? African spirituality in the Bible. And those two videos helped me decide, get off the fence, if you will. So I didn't have one foot in the streets and one foot in consciousness. I decided to fully commit myself because there was things of interest to me that I felt deserved my undivided attention. So I had now wanted to immerse my energy into this field of research and study, because I was amazed that there was stuff out there that I didn't know of this magnitude. And I saw people willing to take information that, to me, when I was a child, this was stuff that I would read in comic books. This is stuff that my imagination would always, be intrigued with. These are things that I went to the movies, and my favorite movies spoke about these things. So now I'm grown and I'm like, oh, there's a lane for this, right? I could still be in my right mind and follow the right path. But I had to be courageous in order to take that particular leap, because there was no predecessors. There was nobody who had yet done that. I went into the wilderness on my own, and I walked away from street life, and I picked up what's called, quote unquote, consciousness. But I was given that courage. I was given the willingness to make that decision by what I initially saw through the scholarship of Dr. Valentine, right? Pure genius. So I had to give him his flowers, and I enrolled in his academy, even though he says, look, you're you know what I'm saying, you don't need to come in at the entry level, and you're a master student. If anything, you're out here master teaching. I said, no, let me take this journey from the ground floor, right? Everything that I approach in life will be now a replica of going through the chakras, because it is the most magnificent design ever. You know, whoever put this together is the most intelligent being in this universe, because you can apply this same system to any and everything that you are approaching, and it's going to work, right? You're going to see where you have your blockages and difficulties, and that speaks specifically to where you need healing and where you need to focus your energy and your attention. So indeed, I would advise other people who are listening, you know, to look into Dr. Valentine's Academy and his enrollment for the upcoming season. I believe it's even though it may end tomorrow, there's going to be an extension on it. So I believe when Brother Rich comes back, we're going to get you the exact address. Remember what it is?
What, the email address?
No, the address to Valentine's Academy. University, UKS, University of Comedic Sciences. Is it .org?
Yeah, Blue. I'm not sure right now. We'll have to.
Right.
I told Dr. Valentine he's going to extend it. I'm going to get him back on here.
Okay. Yeah.
Next week. I'm going to get him back on here next week. You know what I was going to say, Blue? This is important. With the level of information that we're talking about giving out on YouTube, I often ask myself, and I ask Dr. Valentine, you know, I talk to him a lot. Me and Dr. Valentine have a great relationship, and we talk and we cool, and the brother respects me a lot, you know. And I always say, Dr. Valentine, let's talk about this, let's talk about that. Yo, you know me, because I'm on my metaphysical ish. So I'm like, yo, Dr. Valentine, let's do this. He's like, that he always says that's for my students. Every time I tell him, the only time he made an exception is when he got on my documentary, God Frequency, and I'm still working on it. I paused it, but he said, I'm all right. Well, I usually save this for my students, but I'm gonna talk about it on your documentary or whatever. But there's so many levels that the good Dr. Valentine could go on. But personally, this is me personally speaking, I don't think he thinks y'all would appreciate it. I've even presented him with name ideas for lectures when I bought it. I bought him in twice the last couple of years. And I said, well, let's talk about this. He said, nah, that's for like my school. He always says that's for, so shout out to everybody in the school, because he respects y'all to the utmost degree and he gives y'all it all. But the doctor does not feel, and I feel him. He's been doing it for over 30 years, Blue, and he doesn't feel like it's going to be appreciated if he just gives it out to YouTube. This is my personal opinion. I'm not saying he says this, but this is just my personal opinion.
Yeah, this is what you're picking up on.
I totally understand 100% why he feels like that, Blue Pill. 100% I understand why he feels like that. What we're doing, this is rare. This ain't happening in ancient Egypt. This ain't happening in the 1600s, 1700s. This shit ain't happening in antiquity at all. The Moorish kingdom, you had to be a part of certain things to get invited or whatever. This shit is just given out right now on you. This is a different paradigm, a unique paradigm that has never existed before.
It's a fact.
So because of that, a lot of the masters don't feel appreciated when they're giving you, they're pouring their heart out, and you got 100. There was just a comment. I just got rid of the fool. Nigga said, oh, well, now
no. Yeah,
done. Well, he said, now that the workshop is done, we gonna get it for free. And I'm just referring to that. To reference
that energy, right?
Yeah, to how I feel Dr. Valentine feels. It's things like that our master teachers, Phil could just talk about politics with y'all and Donald Trump and QAnon, and y'all will be happy like a motherfucker. But let Phil talk about putting brass around your head, holding a tree, sun gazing, and looking at a certain light with your eyes. So y'all gonna say, man, get this.
And then you can see where your chakra obstructions are at and diagnose yourself, right? to go and do the work necessary. You know what I'm saying? This is a part that we're missing, the work necessary. You understand? So anybody who is versed in the work takes exception, you know what I mean, to any inflections of people looking down on the work that they do, or the value that that work represents. You understand? Like, you can't put a price tag on what we as a collective were just able to accomplish in such a mathematical precise timing. We started on September 11th, right? And we opened with the tuning forks. I already told you that the World Trade Center are 2 tuning forks set to A440 tuning, evidence of which you can go inside of the World Trade Center museum and it will show you the picture of the Hebrew letter Shin, which are tuning forks. Okay, so we start on the 11th. We go 7 days and we end on the 17th. You know, on those 7 days, we go 1 to 7. We end on the 7th day, on the 17th. It's a new moon. It's in Virgo. It's your born day. It's my wife's born day. Look, even my business partner, 19 Keys, his mother and father's born the same day.
Damn.
The number 17 on the tree of life represents the pathway of the twins, you know, or the replication of the dual forces. You know, this entire Kundalini meditation was about those dual forces and how to perfectly make them intertwine until you come into a state of enlightenment, nirvana, right? You are able to now, through the crown, go beyond the physical flesh, you know, into that spirit realm. And then there are chakras that continuously go up. So today we are on that 8 octave. We are having a very spiritual conversation across these airwaves, Mercury, right? And this conversation, even though it is grounded in realism and reality, and we're speaking the quote unquote facts, we are still speaking about people willing to take that quantum leap, you know, into their spiritual, you know, their spiritual responsibilities. You gotta have your mind right.
Blue,
You gotta
Blue.
have your breathing together.
Not just that. Blue, let me say something real quick, Blue. This is important. All these books here, I showed these books last time you and AA was on here. They still out because I've been glancing through them the whole time, right? So we got all these books I'm showing you, right? Let me just keep showing just to make a point. I'm just making a point. This is a real good one. Me and KT is going to do an interview about shrooms, and this is an excellent book to get about DMT, shrooms, and entheogens. But
Infinite mind field, right?
Yeah. Me and Blue with it. So check that out. All these books cannot be activated by the mind. They're only activated by the heart. So what me and Blue did was our workshop was heartfelt consciousness. Bill's school, heartfelt consciousness. So this is the thing, right? We get all this knowledge and we like, let me tell you something real quick, a little backstory, real quick. Bobby Hemmett recommended a book, The Holographic Universe by Michael Tarbox. I read it I read the majority of it, over 100 pages of, I read the majority of it when I was like 23. And I was actually mad after I read it because I felt as though it didn't mean nothing to me. And I was like, why would Bobby recommend some shit like this, man? This shit is trash. By the time I was 27, I totally understood why he recommended it. And I understood that just because something don't resonate with you at a certain time, don't mean it's trash. You're just not ready for it. And you just didn't understand it because I felt as though I was conscious and I understood it intellectually, but my heart wasn't ready for that information yet. So until your heart is ready for certain information, you can have all the keys right in front of you, but until it registers with your heart chakra, it's not going to unlock. And that's some amazing shit, yo. Like there could be 100 people with a book in their hand and only one person will benefit from that book because his heart unlocked that book. Everybody else's minds unlocked it, but the intellect is a baby, man. The intellect is a baby. The intellect ain't shit compared to the heart. So I just want everybody who's on their journey to keep that in mind. Until your heart unlocks something, you truly haven't unlocked it, because only the heart got the key to unlock, because it's the only organ, it's the first organ that's formed, and it's the organ, the most important organ. Ask our ancestors, ask ancient Egypt. It's interdimensional, it's hyperdimensional. This is how you go to the different dimensions, through your heart. So I just want everybody to keep in mind, Blue.
It has 4 valves, right? It has 4 valves. Those are 4 portals. Those are 4 directions. You understand? Those are 4 doors. Very rarely do we have our heart aligned with all 4 are focused on that one love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like, I got a shorty for this valve. I got a shorty for that valve. I'm like, yeah. Shorty got my heart. 1/4 that she, you know.
She got a third of it,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, she got 1/4 of my heart. That's like her storage space. You know, they be like, you got a cubicle. But getting your heart all 4 around one thing, that one love that they speak about, that Bob and them speak about, understanding the wholeness of humanity. You know, when you conquer the science of the circle, which is the science of the one, which is the science of the 4, which is the science of the 44, right? When you get into that science of the cube, shout out to our brother, the scientist, Hank Risingson, how he was breaking down
Mad
about
science.
that. Mad sciences. You understand? Giving y'all the business, the info. I mean, this was a college course, unlike any other, because we actually brought you out into the field, not just fed your mind, but actually had you involved in an immersive experience, and feeling is everything. You came here to feel, think yes, but feel yes. What you feel, that's real. If this is a holographic, quote unquote, dimension, the feeling is the things that make imprints.
Yes.
If this is a holographic dimension, the feeling is the thing that make imprint. And y'all got a free album. Because I freestyled the majority. I freestyled the majority of that entire webinar. I was all in flow state, tapped into the field, feeling, right? The motion of going through these particular chakras and confronting blockages wherever we find them, uppercut and breaking them down, spinning on them and keeping it going. And the family, those who were connected to that particular experience, were able to also, you know, ascend as well as on their own. And then for the family who still needs to go back, that is what those videos are for. Continuously confront your blockages. Find new ways. We gave a lot of visualization techniques that you can utilize. Everybody's not meant to get it overnight. You understand? But you have to stick with it. It's about consistency. If we didn't teach you nothing, it was about consistency, right? So.
Real quick, just for the people, the brothers and sisters who's asking about, will it be available? We're gonna improve on it. We're actually gonna for each poem that Blue said, I'm gonna provide a soundtrack on it. We want to make it as we, and like I said, we had technical difficulties night 2, and a few a little bit, I think night 4, something with the audio video sync, but we're gonna perfect it. And we're gonna everybody who joined obviously is gonna get the new revised package, and we're gonna have it available for everybody. So the Patreon members, some of it will be available on Patreon. Like I'm gonna put the Dr. Valentine video on Patreon, the Hank Robinson video on Patreon,
please,
things like that. But the entire package in its entirety, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal, because we're gonna work on it to make it the best we can. We'll give you an update and let you know when that's going. It will be available in the very near future. I'm gonna get started right away on that. But we'll provide you. Blue will probably come on next week, and we'll tell you exactly how to get.
Yeah, we'll be able to give you an update, and you know, keep you informed about when that package will be complete. But for the family who has participated, and even for the family who wants to participate, you can find yourself in your own personal space doing the things that matter most. Waking up, sun gazing, you know, drinking some warm water in the morning, preferably with some key lime in it, so you can help balance the acidity in your stomach. You know, holding off from eating until maybe about 11. And if you do have to eat, I eat light, you know what I'm saying? And I literally eat light. I eat sunlight, but I also eat light. So if I do have to put something in my body before that hour, it's a lighter food. It's, you know, a piece of banana, or I do my smoothies, my Seymour smoothies. I drop my gold around that time. I take my smart morse and my sports morse and, you know, the Crown's oil, things that I need. And I'm in the gym. So, and it's not like I'm taking this stuff and I'm not active. This is during the time period where I'm probably going to the gym for 3 hours straight, and I'm off all of that stuff. I don't eat nothing solid till afterwards. So if I can do that for myself, look, and I'm 44. I know it's hard to believe, right?
Man, you ain't 44. Man. Get shit out of here. Y'all ain't 44. Y'all like 32.
Yeah,
Man.
exactly. So, you know, with the power of that breath, you know, we are showing you the keys to this. Breathing can get you there, family. It can break you through. It can change you into a rocket ship. It turbo boost you into a whole different stratosphere where you like, whoa, it's pretty high up here. You got to get used to the heights though. You know what I'm saying? And you know, who wants to come down from there? Keep going, keep traveling, ground yourself in every situation. Utilize these techniques. Be aware of the company that you keep. People are going to come around you and attempt to leech. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very fast on your feet. Don't stick around nowhere for too long. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So
No, definitely indeed. You know,
keep your move on.
One thing that's beautiful, Blue, also I appreciate just about the conversation we have. And for years, Blue, I've had this YouTube channel for years. I could have easily did a video tonight, right? And I could have named it Kamala Harris wears Timberland boots to pander to black people. And this shit would have had 3,000 people in it. Word to everything. If I would have said Kamala Harris is pandering to black people by wearing Timberland boots, what a shame. It would have had 3,000 people in it easily. But I'm at it, you know, everybody remember my videos with Dick Gregory, my classic videos with Dick Gregory, him cursing me out all the time. And everybody remember my show every week with Griffith Zaza. And me and Griff will be back next week. And that stuff is important. That stuff is important, but I can't let it dominate my life because I'm at a different point in my life. And I'm very glad that I'm able to be successful and I'm able to be happy doing what I love to do at this time in my life. I love doing that at that time, but things change. So another message is maybe you might love doing something when you're 25, but at 30, it may be time to move on. The universe is about growth, it's about evolving, it's about movement. Nothing stays still. So you got to understand who you are at 30, at 35, at 40, at 45, at 50, at 55. You got it. This is a life journey. This ain't no somebody made a comment also in the chat. Any miraculous events happen after? Like, come on, that's some stupid shit. Like, this is a life journey.
Right. I mean, and the thing is this, the correct answer to that would be,
and Rob
we
Moses
have
that's comment.
We have yet to hear people's testimonials. I know in my life I had some pretty miraculous things take place. You know what I'm saying? And I'm almost certain that people have their own stories to tell and their own testimonials. So,
Blue, let me share it with you. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
This was from my I got my number that everybody could text me. This is from my sister Lisa. I appreciate Lisa always showing support. I am full with energy. The 7-day Kundalini workshop retreat was and is beyond words. I am breathing with fresh air, water, fire, and earth. I shall await the ceremonial day 7. I am glad I took off work for the following 4 days. It was a wonderful investment in self-care and awakening. The sun shall bring you energy by day. The moon shall softly restore you by night. The rain shall wash away your worries. The breeze shall blow new strength into your being. The walk shall gently through the world and standing and knowing its beauty all the days of your life. Ashe, Brother Rich, Black Magic 363. That's just one testimony.
Now, I mean, yeah, so you have to take into account how that might sound to somebody who's not at ease in their being as of yet, who, you know, their world is still like this. That sound, everything that you're going to hear is from people who sound like they at peace. I just got off a live with 19 Keys before I got here. And me and him was speaking at this tone because he's going through a Zen moment too. And they was like, why y'all talking slow? And we had to explain, you know what I'm saying, what peace sounds like. And when you're not in a rush anymore, when things are now at your pace because you are now owning the magic of the moment, right? You don't live in random time. You're not subject to the whimsical aspects of, you know, only victims believe that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, anything can happen at any time. No, control the moment. Be intentional. You're navigating this Nebuchadnezzar. You're creating each moment as you go along, right? You know that if you woke up this morning and you started your day by saying, I feel amazing. How you feel? I feel amazing, right? You can only go up from there. So once again, this is on you. You know, how are you programming your reality? How do you see yourself showing up? What are you worth, right? When you show up in this world, how do you expect people to receive you? Because they're going to receive you how you receive yourself first. So you need to practice every day in front of that mirror, telling yourself, I love you, willing to hug yourself. If you can't touch yourself, why should anybody else? If you can't kiss on you, why should anybody else? If you can't love on you, why should anybody else? You got to start with you. Once you magnetize your you, you become a magnet and you attract a you to you and it becomes us. Right? Because the U and the U is an S. You see it with the Look, Cambada, I seen Cambada over this weekend here in Atlanta. Shout out to the A-Town. Shout out to the Mystic Fair. We're also going to talk about day 2 real quick at some point. I do want to put on record what I was conscious of, you know. But I seen Cambada told me he had an epiphany the night before, and he was saying that he had a digital clock and he saw the number 8. Yeah. And every single number exists within the number 8. He was explaining the law of 44 to me. And I'm like, bro, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Yo. Even if you add the number 1 to 8 up, mathematically, it comes up to the number 44. So, you know, 9-11, when you flip 2 and 9 together, yeah, when you count 2 to 9, you get 45. I mean, you get 40. I'm listening.
No, go ahead, Blue.
Yeah, 1 to 9 gives you 45, which brings you back to the 9, which loops it. But 1 to 8 is going to give you 44, which becomes that infinity, you know what I'm saying? Time and space, interlooping and enveloping on itself. You can fit every number into the digital 8. And the 9 is just the loop.
But you know what's crazy? I'm glad you brought
So we finished on the 17th.
The 8.
Right? Which is the 8. Yeah, which is infinite. It's the cosmic loop. We finished on the new moon, Virgo. You understand? Think about the timing here. We started with the pillars. We ended on a new moon Virgo with 2 Virgos, 2 pillars celebrating a solar return.
Yo, Blue, you know what's crazy?
Yeah. Tell me more.
Before the fact that you were me and you, we on the same frequency, and I guess this is why I had to do the workshop with you, because we're thinking similar thoughts, and it's that we're all first of all, empty space isn't really empty. We're all connected by it, but me and you are tuned into the same channel. So let's say whatever quantum channel we're on is channel 44. We're on channel 44 right now. We're tuning in channel 44 right now. So the thoughts I have are often hear you say, and I'm sure some of the things I have, the things I say is the thoughts you have, vice versa.
I again, I just got off for live with 19 and told him the exact same thing that you're telling me, because the whole montage he opened up with the same thing I was just talking about. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. we like mycelium, like how fungus is controlled by the mycelium map. We are sharing this quantum mind. You feel me? It's mycelium, but this is what it looks like in this crystalline structure. So your thought over here is still connected to the thought over here because it's all connected on the circuit board.
Like the tree.
Circuitry. Yes.
Like the trees and the roots of the trees, right?
Like the roots of the trees. Absolutely. Like, look, like dark matter. They showed the picture. Science found it right after we did the lecture. Shout out to AA. Yeah. It looked like mycelium. It looks like melanin. It looks like the nervous system. It looks like electricity, electric body. All of that. Yeah. Lit.
Blue, remember what you just said about Kambada and the the 8? You said all numbers come from the 8.
Yes.
What I was thinking about I was thinking about that before you even talked about it. I've been thinking about that the last to the point where I YouTube I started, I don't know what caused me to start, because it made me think about nothingness and where we come from. So I YouTube the metaphysics of nothingness. There was this weird Marilyn Manson looking white boy that had a good video on
I seen it.
You see,
he bodied it.
So he bodied it, right?
Bars.
Like Kambada said the 8, all numbers come from the 8. But what the 8 comes from? The 0. So the 8 is polarity. That symbolizes this realm. But outside of this realm is the void, the 0. So when you see a cell in a human body, the cell starts out like this, and then it becomes 2, then 4, and it's like the tree of life.
Right.
But the tree of life starts out with the 0, the void. So Kambada is in this realm, the 8 is supreme. But beyond that, you have 0, you got the void, the nothingness. And that's where we all come from. Nothing, blackness. This is what this is about. Dark light. This is what they don't want to take it back to. The nothingness. We come from, you know what, there's meditations where you think about nothing. And when you think about nothing, you come up with everything. I did some of these meditations during when I made Holy Ghost 2. I forgot what I was reading, but you think about nothing. You just empty your mind. It's better to have no thought than to have a positive thought. Remember that. It's better, and this is my opinion. You don't have to remember that, everybody listening. But sometimes when I like to have no thought instead of a positive thought, because even my positive thought is tainted. Right. So there's nothing that.
Yeah. Look. Let's explain it like this. Yeah. My positive thought still has weight. Let's say it like that. My positive thought still has weight because it has expectations with it. You understand?
Yes.
My nothing thoughts have no weight. So I can access anything and all things through no thing. As opposed to something, there's always a signature already there. A positive thought is a light that's on something. No thought is pure darkness. Only things that are created in darkness. You understand? So, I mean, we're given the keys to the universe right now.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, should I give him this last piece or save it for a book?
Nigga, Dr. Valentine said, fuck that, come to my school. I don't play with him.
God, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I am joining Dr. Valentine at his academy. I invite you as well, family. It will be well worth.
I'm gonna be there too.
It'll be well worth it. Let's support one another in our intellectual endeavors and our experiential endeavors as well, because you know the end result is a better world, better beings, better crystals, better manifestation, quicker manifestation, more intentional manifestation.
Hey, there you go, Blue. Beautiful. Yeah. King Simon, if you're still in the chat, King Simon, can you please share Dr. Valentine's information for his school one more
Yes.
time. King Simon, please share it if
Please
you are
do.
still. And there you go. Thank you, King Simon. Yeah, King Simon's in the chat. So, Blue Pill's going to be a part of the school this semester. I'm going to be a part of.
Yes. It
We're going to
starts
back on.
I'm starting tomorrow, right?
When does it start? It start tomorrow?
I'm starting it tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at 10.
I got a call, man. Listen, come on, man. You can't start it without me, brother. Come on.
But I mean,
no, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you, Blue. But
this is the beginning. This is very preliminary.
I'm gonna call him tomorrow, and I'm gonna see what we could do to make this his most grand semester ever in terms of the school. It's what some people might call expensive, but and I don't want no discounts from Dr. Valentine. I just want to support the brother, and I just want him. What I want Dr. Valentine, Blue, let me just say this. I don't want him to motherfucking hear about Trump. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to fucking hear about Trump, and I'm using this link for a purpose to denote an intention. I want to hear about what the shit he was saying on that Kundalini video he did for me and for our retreat. That video, and he did mention something one time about politics, but you know, it's whatever.
But it was so
I want that feel. That video he did for me and you, that's the feel I want. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear that. I love that. That's me all day, Blue. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what we can expect from this particular journey that we're taking with Phil is like a college crash course, you know, especially for the people who were just able to tune themselves up with an experiential experience. Now, if you go into the intellectual aspect of explaining what you just felt, you're approaching it different than somebody taking you from the intellect telling you, yo, you could feel this if you do that. What if you felt it first and then they explain to you what you just felt? Now you can explain it better for yourself and for other people around you. You like, nah, it felt like this because he's saying it was like because of this, and the endorphins were released and this particular hormone was responsible. So when I hear the word serotonin, right, I can relate that to this feeling that I had to say, oh, that's when I felt when my solar plexus started, you know, rotating in the right direction. And I got the, you know, the wiggle shoulders and stuff like that. So like, it's worth taking this journey because what he's going to ultimately teach is going to be tantamount to a college course. And, you know, even children go back to the school in the fall. Why not take this semester? This is the information that you're going to need leading into what we're leading into. Remember, no more important time than the now. So the politics of now is about your body. That's what the politics is about. The politics of now is about your attention and your energy. That's what it's about. So why not get to know why it's so valuable to the people who are willing to do whatever that they have to do? Even Kanye's talking about the way that they house and store your energy, how they make you powerless, how you contract to it though. We are moving into the month of Libra. Libra is all about contracts. It's all about relationships. This is the perfect time to get to know yourself and have a better relationship with you.
Nah, it's amazing, Blue Pill, and I just, you know, at this point, this makes me the most excited. And, you know, people can see I get excited talking about this because this is what
as you should.
Besides just make, and this is music, you know, there's nothing, everything in this dimension is music. When something don't resonate, I guess some things are noise, but this is music right here. So I appreciate the music that we are giving to the people right now, Blue Pill. I'm gonna tell you, Blue, I just look forward to you making these poetic soundtracks that I really look forward to that.
That's a high honor. That's gonna be more fun than I could even put words to, because this is what I love to do. It's a high honor, and if nothing else, you know, I learned so many lessons through this process.
I seen you grow right before my eyes, Blue. I seen you grow right before my eyes, my brother.
I did, and not only myself, but everybody around me went through the process simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? Especially my queen, like you know, I also learned that the coronation was also about the coronation of the queen. Right. You know what I'm saying? And the coronation of the young king, right? I can appreciate both of your coronations and still be comfortable in mine. You know what I'm saying? You have an expansive appreciation for seeing everybody around you win. And that's what you are able to do, especially once you get through the heart chakra. Because a lot of people got super duper heart chakra blockages because the lower 3 is still hidden in darkness. That's your shadow self. That's the places that you don't want to go because it's uncomfortable. You feel me? Right. But we put you on a freight train and we got you through it. Yeah. You know, and there's so much more, you know, that we want to do. You know what I'm saying? With the demonstrations, live demonstrations, with the music, with you know, we don't want to call them retreats. We want to call them immersive excursions. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take immersive excursions places and really get into, you know, live fine-tuning our crystals and really understanding this concept that you have a spaceship, your auric field. Once you control it, once you maximize your breathing and you understand the power of your diaphragm, you are creating a shield, a spaceship that extends outside of your body 500 feet, 5 miles, 500 miles. How far you are willing to take it and expand it is how far it's willing to go. This is your Merkaba. This is your light vehicle. This is your light body. And once you take control of that and you see yourself in central navigation at the center point of your mind, of your vessel, of your dome, where your pineal is at, and you are navigating as the observer and not the person is feeling, not the person that feels, I feel like a victim, something's against me. No, I came to dominate, control, and take over because things are out of order. I came to restore order. This is how it's done. This is what these vehicles are for, right? Look at them as tanks. You are no limit soldier, right? What does your demonstration look like thus far? So I'm not concerned with what happened yesterday. That's the ash of the past. We can't do nothing with that. You understand? Yeah. But everything in front of you is brand new. So take advantage of it. Treat it as such. You know, when you see it, treat it like a flower, right? As we said, you know, this is the bouquet for the family. This is their flowers. You know, we're going to give you your flowers. You are the super graduates. You know what I'm saying? They ain't graduate other children and adults this COVID year, but y'all got y'all flowers in 7 days. You feel me? And these joints are silk. So, you know, we did something that's amazing. I thank you for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I thank you for trusting in yourselves to know that you are worthy of transformation, but don't stop here. Keep going up, keep going further, become a beacon of light in your community. So you start even healing your community. You understand? And people around you are going to ask questions like, what happened to you? You know?
Yeah. Well, once again, everybody in the chat asking about when is the workshop available? Yes, it will be available. We're tweaking it a little bit. We're making it as best as possible.
Yeah, audio wise, because from this point on, for the family that's listening to it through the replay, it's going to be an audio visual experience. So because you did not have the opportunity and the benefit of being there live, because the live gives the emotional, you know what I'm saying, engagement as well. You're going to be seeing it secondhand. We're going to do the very best that we can to make sure that it is still a crystallized, high octave experience. All right.
Because the whole purpose of these workshops, family, there's a difference between a workshop and a lecture. A workshop is supposed to be heartfelt consciousness. So when you see the price being 200 or whatever, it's Blue Pill put his heart and his soul. Y'all ever seen? I gotta stare. You see, I get excited. I stare. Y'all ever seen? What's the queen's name that just did the verses? Patti LaBelle. She sing and she kick her shoes off. She gotta kick her shoes off. That's that heartfelt because she's singing.
Yeah.
Blue
singing from the heart.
If Blue was a singer, he would have kicked the shoes off. That's how much of his heart he put into this. If he was Patti LaBelle, he would have kicked his shoes off while he was doing this, family. That's how much of his heart he put into this. You know what I'm saying? That's who we are.
Right.
As a people, we're such a heart-based people. That's why it's so easy to take advantage of us. With the news, with the media. The media is the number one tool of what we call white supremacy. That's how they get us. Our hearts get into it. Whatever we see, we start twitching. We start moving. We start doing, because our hearts get into. Put your heart into your inner experience. That's all. And nothing wrong. I'm not criticizing, judging nobody for watching the news. Do what you do. All I'm saying is all the shit you do to the news outside, just do that to your inner experience as well.
Right. Once, like we said, once you understand or just experience the power of being in command at center point in the middle of your dome, then you now control north, east, west, and south. And that's all the news is. The news should be what's going on in the four corners of your world at any and all times. If you dipping in to look at the news, dip out it just as quick, because there's nothing that's there for you. Create your own reality, create your own news. Don't even be concerned what they tell you the temperature is. Make sure that it fits what you need it to be. Become that type of magnet in your life, right? You ain't got to look and see what they're saying. You bring everything that you need to you. You need your mind back. You need your concentration, your attention, and your focus. These are things that are essential to transformation, especially now when there's so many lies being told to your vision, right? If you have not deciphered at this particular point between the truth and the lies, then you're doing yourself a detriment to still even entertain that stuff to figure it out. Right. Just pull away and get into yourself. Put the phone away for a day. You know what I'm saying?
Teach.
If I didn't go to Shasta, if I wasn't in those forests that are no longer with us at this day, you understand what I've been through? Today is the only day that I really got a chance to even deal with looking at the pictures of the devastation of what took place in Oregon, because I could not allow that to be so heavy on my heart that it affected this upcoming Kundalini retreat. Every single place that the bottom of my foot touch is no longer there. So that's the purification. That's that red star Kachina. That's, the fact that things have started on this planet that are not going to end with the planet being the same planet that we are on right now. And we have to attune ourselves to that frequency, that we'll be able, with clear sentience and clear audience, that you'll be able to hear what you need to hear when you need to hear it, so you can move when you need to move, or do what you need to do. Because the planet is cleansing itself. It is officially a purification under place, right? And this couldn't have come at a better time. You know what I mean? So
somebody said, glad to see, they talking about you, glad to see him bring out what I knew he had it in him. They talking about you with the Kundalini retreat. I guess they was.
Yeah,
what?
Yes, I've heard that.
Let me say this, because I'm gonna tell y'all this. You know what? And this is This is not a pat on my back. This is me knowing who I am. Mm-hmm. When I say I'm a music producer, I'm not just talking about me and Cam. What me and Blue do when I do interviews, that's music.
Right, it's music.
When that's you hear everybody talks about my question asking ability. When I ask questions, I don't ask questions to embarrass somebody, or to be smarter than somebody. I ask questions.
Ridicule.
Music. Right. I ask questions to make good music, to make a good soundtrack. So I analyze who the person is, their energy, and I figure out where they're at. And I ask questions based on where I think where they're at to bring the best out of them. So with Blue, and when I tell you my spirits, I'm very intuitive, very intuitive. My spirits told me you have to go with, I would have been miserable if I didn't go with Blue. My spirits told me it's blue pill. Blue pill is this is blue pill. This is for blue pill. Said it, but in my mind, I'm like, damn, I hope blue pill feels what I'm trying to say. And he don't just be like, man, Rich, get the fuck out of here. 7 days? I can't do that. but he felt it. And what I'm saying is that everything is music. And me being a producer, that's my job, to bring the best out of Blue Pill, Cambada, or whoever. And it's your job to just figure out, you know, who you are and what you are in this realm. And I figured out who I am, and I'm listening to the voice because I may not have listened to it, and this Kundalini retreat wouldn't have been the same. But when I tell y'all, this is Blue's calling. When I tell y'all the next decade of Blue is gonna be very, very, and I'm not, the brother been doing what he's doing spiritually, but I'm just saying, as far as this Kundalini, the way
I mean, yeah.
Blue, it's amazing. Blue, it was amazing the way you was maneuvering, what you was doing, and how you with the poetry. It was amazing, brother. So I'm just glad that I was able to produce this.
Again, like I said, as the pillar in the twin pillar story that we are narrating at this particular time, you representing the male pillar of the 8 energy of the September 17th, my wife representing the female pillar of the September 17th 8 energy. Me have the opportunity now to live the Corona Rising to coronation ritual in front of the entire world, and then benefit from being plugged into the circuit board of that particular ascension, how we are moving the sun from the root, from the ground, all the way up through all 7 stages to get to that coronation. But again, this is something that is celebrated. We all celebrate. This is all of our coronation. It's all of our achievement that made it through those 7 stages, or those bands of light, you know what I'm saying? Or those ladders, or those levels, or whatever you want to call them. We all felt it. We all went through it. You know what I'm saying? We all can attest to it. And we all better as a result of it. And I'm just honored once again to answer the calling and be able to fulfill my purpose. My purpose here is service. That's my my galactic signature. Why I came here. Me knowing myself, I know that. I know that my purpose is service. So I was able to offer a service to I wouldn't say, because humanity's a weird word around here, because we still occultists.
Blue,
you know,
glad you said that.
And when we say occultists, we mean the people who are not afraid of the dark. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of this was about taking the sting out of these motifs and these symbols and these concepts, because a lot of people come straight from Christianity into consciousness, and they come with the baggage.
Blue, yeah. I gotta ask you this, Blue. I gotta ask you this. What you just said, it made me think of something that's very important, and I'm sure a lot of people think of, Blue. When you say, because you talked about the term humanity and being a problem to certain occultists, when we hear the word God thrown around loosely. We even heard Kanye years ago say, "I am a God." Mm-hmm. When you say you are a God, Blue, do you mean you are? And I hate the either or questions. And maybe right. Answer that. But Blue, are you? Brother Rich is asking you this: are you a God, or are you the God? What is in it? And is there a difference? Are you a God, or are you the God that we keep, the Almighty, the Supreme Being? Or
again, I like utilizing the analogy, because the analogy can draw the picture and we can visualize the concept a little bit better. So a drop of water out of the ocean put into a plastic bottle, and a label puts on that bottle is Dasani. Mm-hmm. That water traveling, hearing the people speak about it, starts believing that it's Dasani water.
Talk to him.
Right? So people start meeting the water in its travels. It'd be like, where you from? Like, I'm from Dasani. I'm banging Dasani Crips. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm from the south side of Dasani. Yeah. I'm banging Dasani Crips, nigga. Right? And they scratching their head. They like, okay, I'm looking at water. Right? So you go through your whole journey and your whole life, you know what I'm saying, till somebody body you, right? Pop your top, boop. drink your contents, right? That person is fishing one day, and he get the urge, like, oh, he go right over the balcony and he urinates into the ocean, right? That water now has returned back to the source. That water can't go back to the source talking about, yo, I'm Dasani Crip from the south side of Dasani. No, that water is gonna quickly come into the realization that it initially came from that source, that ocean of water, and it has now returned to that source, even if it had this brief stint of believing or thinking that it was what it was not. And the experience that goes along with that now represents the consciousness and the memory that gets crystallized in water. But now it just goes back into the entire smorgasbord of the memory board that is the ocean, and sorted and shifted how it so must please. It might become the sand because it's too weighty, right? Everything else might be waves. So I think that that's a beautiful way of explaining that concept to people where we can grasp it. I am of the Most High. You know, I'm a representative of that light. I am an expression of that connection. You know what I'm saying? I am an extension of that highest dimension. You feel me? But am I everything that encompasses that particular totality? Yes and no.
That was an excellent answer, my brother. I knew you was gonna say that. That's why I asked that. But I know some people struggle with the idea of being that big, of being, okay, I'm a little G guy.
Look.
I'm a little G guy. I'm just a little G. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I can't be the God. You know what I'm saying? But we're charged by the God. You know what I'm saying? So it's an amazing it's just an amazing answer, my brother. Any last things you want to say, my brother? Because I don't want to stay too long tonight. I want to thank everybody for, you know what, before we close it out, give me a good question, family. Give me a good question for my brother Blue Pill. Give me a good question for my brother Blue Pill. Let me ask my brother Blue Pill a good question. And while we wait on the question, I just want to tell the family in the description bar, if you would like to contact Brother Rich or stay up to date with Brother Rich, up to date with this channel and Brother Rich, you could text me at the number provided in the description bar. Also, make sure you hit up the Cash App to support me. You know, my super chat has been limited lately. I think they might have put it back on. I haven't checked lately. But talk like this, I don't get that much Cash Apps like people get super chats for whatever reason. But I do appreciate my Patreons. My Patreons is what keep my channel moving. So y'all will get a lot of videos from the Kundalini workshop. Besides that, everybody else has to wait, but y'all will get the doctor. Like I said, Dr. Phil Valentine, Hank Riser's son, Brother Panic. So just stay tuned for that. But me and Blue Pill is gonna revamp a lot of things. Give me a good question for my brother Blue Pill before we get out of here. Let me see what's going on in the chat room. Is the Kundalini, this is from the KK2X, I think. Is the Kundalini the same as the forbidden fruit in the Bible?
Is the Kundalini the same as the forbidden fruit in the Bible?
Yes.
No, the Kundalini is attached to the story that encompasses the forbidden fruit in the Bible. Yes. Yes, we can identify, the Kundalini is serpentine force, serpentine energy, and the star of that particular part of the narrative was the serpent in the garden. And as I was explaining through poetry, through this process, when you get through the heart, you get into the garden. And from the garden, you're able now to see the mountains. You was in the woods prior to that. You was in wilderness. You was in the thick of the bush. You couldn't even see. You know what I'm saying? And then when you come through the heart, you have to make it over the moat, which is the bridge into the garden. I was utilizing these allegories, these colorful stories to give people descriptives, visualizations about the journey, the hero's journey that we all undertook, you know? So the serpent is a very vital part of that. You know, my Mayan galactic signature, you know, is the red electric serpent. You know what I'm saying? This is my soul signature. This is who I am. I'm a Scorpio as well. You feel me? So I'm the hero twins in the Mayan narrative. Red and blue star Kachina. I'm just living my purpose out. The red and blue pill. Like I'm just here for the service of my purpose, yo.
Yes.
And I'm honored, you know, to have the opportunity, to serve that purpose out.
They want to know, do you have twin flames for real?
Is there such a thing as twin flames?
Twin flames, yeah.
That particular answer is one that doesn't have a universal, you know, it's not universally spread. You know, some people have twin souls, some people have twin flames, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that stuff carries over from past lives. So even for me to say, okay, well, you have a twin flame in this life, and that might not be the person who you are physically attracted to, but might carry the energy signature of somebody that you're carrying over a relationship with, is that going to make you happy in this life? You know what I'm saying? So twin flames is good. That's cute. And there is a reality of it that is rooted, you know, into what people experience in this lifetime. But the thing that we really don't talk about, that we need to talk about, is the chords from past relationships. And nobody's giving us the information on that or teaching us how to cut cords. So if you have sex with someone, if you have a physical attraction, if you have an expectation of a physical attraction with someone, if you were fantasizing about a physical attraction with or a sexual interaction with someone, all of these things create cords, right? And we are corded in our sex organs. We're corded in our navel. You understand? And you're bringing that everywhere that you go with you, into all of your relationships. So we went through whole routines and demonstrations and visualization techniques on how to cut cords intentionally, meaningfully, purposefully, and forever. So those things that become energy blocks can be blocking you from your twin flame. You could be seeing your twin flame, but your twin flame is over the moat. And in between you and your twin flame is a crocodile. And right now your heart's too heavy, so you can't cross the moat because you got to get weight on the bridge. You don't want to do it to yourself. So learn how to eliminate and cut those cords so you could clean up the part of you that attracts your twin flame. You know what I'm saying? And it's not attracting the trauma or, you know, the fact that, yeah, you know, we fractals, but what happens when the mirror's broke? What type of fractal does that make?
Woo. When the mirror's broke. Wow. Okay, Blue. Deep, man. Like I said, Blue, I appreciate your time. Just giving about everybody a recap. Everybody just keep asking, is it going to be available? Yes, it will be available soon.
Yes.
Family, we're going to make it better. We're going to make it more enjoyable. Even to the people that purchase it, we're going to send you the revised version. I'm going to provide a soundtrack to Blue Pill's poetry that you can listen to in your sleep when you wake up. And also got an announcement about my music mantras. I got a big announcement about, you know, the I Am track I did and what I'm providing for y'all in the future. But stay tuned. Blue Pill will be on next week, and we're gonna have a major announcement about the whole Kundalini thing. This is something big that we're doing.
Yes.
Proud of my brother Blue Pill. I seen him grow right in front of my eyes. I seen this.
Proud of us, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And it was amazing. I'm glad to have been a part of it. And with that being said, my brother, leave your contact information for the people.
Yes. $ Blue Pillar PILLAR 44. All right. $ Blue Pillar 44. You can find me at Blue Pillar 44 on IG and bluepillar44@gmail is how you could contact me. With that, goldwater.com, of course. All right. Because amazingly, you know, and I should have done more of a cross promotion with the product because it had everything to do with these chakras, this gold and this silver, this sun and this moon energy, this solar and lunar duality, this masculine and feminine aspect. It coincides, connects, and ties in to the whole aspect of what we were speaking about. And it crowned off with, you know, I released a product called Crown's Oil, ironically enough, yesterday. Crown's Oil Black, for that matter. And it told family you can get 10% off if you put in Kundalini and the goldwater.com checkout. All right. And with that, I appreciate you. I love you to life. Family, continue going up. Peace.
Peace, family. I'll see you next time.